Welcome to the Brainstorm episode 95. We've got a quick one for you today. Lorenzo, Coinbase launching the Base app. What is it? Why is it worth talking about? And what does it enable?
Yeah, so Coinbase had an event with Jesse and Brian where they basically they presented the roadmap for Base, and really, you can think of it as three different parts: the base chain, base build, and base app. Right. The base chain is the layer two that Coinbase launched now I think 2 years ago, where they basically announced that they're going to go to 200 millisecond blocks, with Flashbots. So just getting base more performant, less latency, and cheaper and more usable for users. So that was one part of the announcement. Base build, it's more of the developer toolkit. So they're going to continue to build that for developers to be able, to integrate applications and launch new applications on Base. And basically their non-custodial wallet, the Coinbase non-custodial wallet, they're renaming that basically Base app, and that was the biggest announcement I would say in the event, and we can talk more about it. But I think the short answer is they're trying to onboard more people to the Base ecosystem and to use their wallet. And so they're integrating they're rebranding and redoing the app where it's going to be more of a super trading social content creation platform. So you'll be able to trade, you'll be able to send USDC with other Base app users. They're also integrating, other aspects that we can talk about it to make it, also viable for content creators to use Base app. So that's the short answer. So, you know, we had a lot of news on the three legs base, the base chain, base build, and the Base app, and happy to to go deeper in any of these.
So they're trying to be, this is like their crypto wallet front end. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. So it's their non-custodial wallet, and I think Base and in general like Coinbase, um, they've been very vocal about NFTs. They've been very engaged with Zora, which is a protocol that basically allows you to mint NFTs on audio, video, and basically any type of content. And so they're integrating that into the Base app. And so potentially you could monetize like a tweet or an audio, like different things. They're also integrating the Farcaster social feed, and so Farcaster, you can think of it as more decentralized Twitter, basically. That was it's a project also that was launched, 3 or 4 years ago now, and Base and Coinbase, they've been actively engaging with them, and so they're integrating the feed into the Base app, so you can chat with other people that are on Farcaster, and really I think from a front end perspective, you can think of it more as a hybrid between a TikTok, a Twitter, and basically a trading application or a payments application. And so, I think it's been like a thesis in crypto for 10 years at least. Like it's been a thesis that a lot of people have alluded to, and has been tried from different angles. So I think it's going to be interesting to see, if they can really onboard like meaningful users that are not already in crypto, basically.
Who is
Nick,
the leading non-custodial wallet player today?
That's a good question. I would say like the MetaMask and Phantom. Yeah,
hmm
yeah,
So
definitely. I think.
Solana and ETH, or ETH Solana.
Yeah. Now, I mean, both MetaMask and Phantom have integrated ETH, the Ethereum, so the EVM, the SVM, and even Bitcoin. I think on Phantom you can even a Bitcoin wallet. I think those are the two biggest non-custodial wallets today.
Nick, do you see this
hmm
sitting next to the Robinhood app, or somewhat leading to competition down the line. How do you think about these different, front end wallets? Is there going to be one that rules them all, or you think crypto carve out, even though Robinhood's kind of moving towards private and other asset classes as well, stands alone?
I think you have to understand that these companies are coming at the same, they're heading towards the same direction, but Coinbase is starting crypto native, and I look at this as specifically very crypto native. And so in terms of competition with Robinhood, I think Robinhood's approach is we're building for the mainstream everyday retail trader or someone just getting familiar with markets. Whereas I think this goes a few layers deeper, and even having the non-custodial aspect, like that takes a certain level of knowledge to want to start to play in that space as a trader, as an investor. So I don't see them necessarily competing right now. I think down the line, obviously this is all heading towards the same direction. And then the social aspect, I have a hard time understanding. I feel like they're putting everything, and I think you talked about it in this way, right? Like this is kind of their play of an everything app, but financialized in a certain way. Can it work? Yes. Is it, niche today? I think so. Content creation for crypto markets, okay, maybe that starts to live on this base application, which could, I think tying content directly to markets, you're seeing that become more and more popularized,
It's
whether
like
it's
Trading View.
Polymarkets, Trading View,
Yeah,
Public, right?
Polymarket
A
is basically
lot,
financial
right,
as news out, a news outlet
right.
basically.
Yeah,
Which
like
was actually
having real
the other piece of news I wanted to talk about this week, because they're coming back to the U.S.
coming back to
Homecoming.
the US. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Competition's heating up.
I
And
know.
DraftKings, I think there was some rumor that they are in talks to acquire Railbirds, which has the same license, and this is the license that Polymarket just acquired by getting this company. So competition. But I think, yeah, to go back to where we were, tying real-time news and content to financial markets in unique and interesting ways is the future. And so them approaching it in this manner makes a ton of sense long term. It's just going to, take time to bring in that mainstream retail trader because you're starting very crypto native.
I,
It,
yeah, I agree. I also think like a lot of people that are on like on TikTok, Instagram, they're just not interested in the financial aspects and trading, right? And I think you see like why hasn't Instagram or TikTok really engaged in that part, right? Like like embedding more uh trading aspects or payments. I mean, maybe like Instagram with stable coins. I mean, they're talking about it. Um, but yeah, there's a good reason. I think at least in crypto, it has been tried 1,000 times. Like venture-backed companies, existing company pivoting, wallets trying to embed. We've even seen Phantom trying to do this, but it hasn't really worked. Coinbase, for sure has um, more users and like an inertia probably that other companies don't have. But I agree. I think for some users, it's not going to be super interesting to have like social and content creation within the same app as trading and payments. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think it just limits the market. Another way of thinking about it, how many people are full time in crypto? That's really your market for
Yeah.
tying crypto news to the crypto market. Versus when you look at a TikTok, an X, a Threads, an Instagram, you're getting all of your news, and some of that might be crypto, right? Like the algorithm knows when to feed you what. Versus this algorithm is always going to be crypto, which is great for a niche part of the market, but that market is much smaller than the TAMs that these other giants are going after, which are more general purpose platforms.
Yeah. Well, that's also part of Nick, like the secret sauce of TikTok. Like it's the algo. Like let's be honest. And so, like for Farcaster, I haven't tried and I don't know the feed how it's going to be, what algorithm they use, but it's certainly not going to be, as good as the, the leading like kind of social media platforms right now. So that's actually a good point, and I don't know. Actually, we should look into Farcaster, but yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
we should. I want to try it now.
But talking about retail and crypto, uh, certain cryptos making all time highs, others approaching in all of this. What's your sense of the retail uh, involvement here? I feel like last cycle it was very clear. You had the FOMO aspect of it. Here, a lot of it, at least in the media, is being pointed to from either treasury companies or the ETFs buying up. Do you get a sense that retail is paying as much attention this time, or is this the institutional wave?
Yeah, I think it's definitely like a different market, more institutional. Like if you see, the the biggest change from the last cycle is the spot ETF, right? For the majors, like you had Bitcoin, ETH, and you have some hybrid uh fund, private fund ETF for Sol and other assets. That's definitely something in the market that wasn't there like past cycle, and the inflows are just they're very big for the size of these assets. So that's one thing. I think honestly, retail hasn't is not really present yet, which I think is a good thing. If you look, Sam, also like it's been like a very segregated market because you've had basically for the first part of the market, Solana outperformed everything. Then the second part, Bitcoin outperformed everything, and then now ETH is kind of catching up. But really, like if you see the rest of the market, the altcoins, so any project, they're still like 50, 60, 70% down their all-time high, really. And so I think that's kind of points you, and those tokens are really predominantly used and traded by retail, and so that gives you a good idea that retail is is not back yet. I think if you look at Google search, how the Coinbase, Robinhood app, like on the apps, like a number of indicators, I think it's still early for for retail.
All right, so then I'm going to go for some distillations here to wrap it up. Uh, Nick and Lorenzo, tell me accurate or not. So the first one is people should download Robinhood and Base and try it out because I feel like people have been talking about digital wallets, us included, for so long that they don't realize it's really happening now. And the difference in UI is winning over a new generation and enabling capability that a lot of the traditional players aren't matching. So it's like that's a trend that we believe likely to continue, and something that you might not appreciate unless you try it firsthand. Second distillation is this tying in of social media uh, and financial news and markets. It's like Nick, you brought that up. Lorenzo, you mentioned it with Polymarket and what the base app's trying to do, but it's like this is a trend that's very much in the experimentation phase now. Clearly, there's been product market fit with the prediction markets, but we're going to see different applications and interesting ways that it evolves. And then number three is just the crypto market in general and watch flows and see what happens.
I I would add download Coinbase as well because Robinhood to Base, that comparison, they're different in the way that they custody the assets. And then yeah, on the social media point of view, I mean, since the beginning of the market, having an edge has always come down to who has news before the market does. Obviously legally, but you can track the history of markets, and real-time news has been integral to how everything is traded. So it makes a ton of sense now that everything is or trending towards user generated, and users on these social media platforms having this news before major news outlets. So being able to tie that directly to where you can trade makes a ton of sense, and I don't think that's going away anytime soon.
All right, Lorenzo, thank you for joining, and we'll see everyone next week for Episode 96. The countdown to 100 continues.
So
Thanks, guys.
close.